The human condition is defined by a deep, relentless war, not against enemies abroad, but against the weakness and illusion within. There are ruthless truths forged in the ancient discipline of Stoicism, and if you possess the courage to face them, you become dangerous in a way that manipulators, failures, and regret can no longer touch. We were raised on a comforting story. The world is fair. People are fundamentally kind. Hard work always pays off. It's a sweet lie, but life whispers otherwise, loudly, insistently. The game is often rigged. Not everyone plays clean, and effort without brutal clarity bleeds you dry. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Own the mind, win the day. When you master your own internal landscape, you instantly rise above 90% of the crowd who are slaves to external chaos. Today, we present 14 ruthless lessons to make you dangerously smart, seeing through appearances, impossible to manipulate, and decisive under crushing pressure. Ordinary intelligence helps you solve existing problems. Dangerous intelligence helps you see them before they crash into you. It is the ruthless discipline of cutting through your own illusions. Are you ready to claim that clarity? If you are, hit that like button now. Your commitment starts here. Let's begin the forge. Lesson 1. Emotion drives. Logic is the alibi. Most human decisions are not born in a spreadsheet or a syllogism. They are triggered by a sudden spike of emotion, a rush of anger, a sting of inadequacy, or the hunger for recognition. The logical explanation that follows is nothing more than the press release written after the crime is committed. Think of a man who buys a luxury car he cannot afford. He will tell you about the safety ratings, the engineering, and the resale value. But the truth is, he felt invisible at his high school reunion. He bought the car to soothe a wounded ego. The logic was the camouflage, the emotion was the driver. The strategy of the dangerously smart. When you feel a profound sense of certainty or a rush of anger, you must execute the discipline of assent. Stop. Ask, what am I really feeling right now? Is this fear? Is this a hunger to be noticed? When you stop being a slave to your chemistry, you become a master of your destiny. Lesson 2. Self-interest is the universal prime mover. Everyone, without exception, acts in their own perceived interest. This is not cynicism, it is the ultimate liberating reality. Once you see this truth clearly, your disappointment in people evaporates. Why? Because you stop demanding that they defy gravity. We want to believe in pure, selfless altruism, but beneath every act, there is a layer of self-interest. Sometimes it is noble, like the pursuit of a legacy or the satisfaction of duty. Sometimes it is selfish, but it is always there. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Stop asking, why are they being so selfish? Instead ask, what is their current prime motive? When you find the overlap between your goals and their self-interest, you create agreements that actually last. You stop fighting human nature and start using it. Lesson 3, the lie of self-deception. Most people cannot handle the truth about themselves. They choose comfortable slavery over painful freedom. They build complex stories and elaborate intellectual defenses to protect the fragile image they have constructed. I once knew a man who constantly complained about toxic workplaces. Every time he left a job, it was the manager's fault. But he never looked at the common denominator, himself. His mind wasn't seeking truth. It was seeking protection for his ego. The strategy of the dangerously smart. The Stoics called self-deception a profound kind of slavery. If you cannot admit your part in a problem, you have no power to change it. Ask yourself every night, what truth am I actively avoiding? What piece of uncomfortable feedback did I dismiss today? These questions are the keys to your cage. Lesson 4. Envy is the tax on excellence. Your success will make some people hate you. Expect resistance as the inevitable tax on excellence. Your success is a mirror. It reflects back to others what they could be, but perhaps chose not to become. When a friend builds a thriving business, the crowd often begins sharpening knives. They make jokes about luck or privilege. Why? Because his success ruthlessly exposes their excuses. Instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Do not dim your light just because it hurts their eyes. Marcus Aurelius was surrounded by gossip and envy in the Roman court. His reminder was simple: their poison is their burden, not yours. Stand firm, keep building. Let your work speak louder than their bitterness. Lesson 5. Every interaction is an influence attempt. Everyone is selling you something, an idea, an action, or a feeling. Once you internalize this, you gain the power of conscious choice. Every smile, every gesture, and every well-timed question is a bid to get you to think or feel something. I remember meeting an old acquaintance for coffee. It felt nostalgic until the pivot happened, the reveal that she had joined a new business opportunity. The friendship was just the packaging. The real product was my network. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Don't assume everyone is malicious, but assume everyone has an interest. Ask with detached curiosity, what do they really want here? When you see the hidden pitch, you stop being a passive buyer and start being a sovereign chooser. Lesson 6. Trust patterns, not promises. This is the lesson that must change how you judge every relationship in your life. People are revealing their true nature all the time, in the small details, in how they treat waiters, and in whether they keep small, meaningless promises. If a business partner exaggerates his role in small meetings, he will eventually claim your role in big ones. If he fudges an expense report for $20, he will betray you for $20,000. The operating system of betrayal is written in the small choices. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Maya Angelou said, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Trust actions, not words. Trust consistency, not explanations. When the evidence is clear, you adjust your boundaries, not their excuses." Lesson 7. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort is not security. It is a soft prison. Voluntary difficulty is the only pathway to strength. I knew a brilliant engineer who took a cushy job with high pay and low stress. For 3 years he lived the dream. But his edge dulled. When the market shifted and he was laid off, he was helpless. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort, sleeping on the floor, eating simple meals, and taking cold baths. They knew that if you only accept ease, your soul will collapse when genuine hardship arrives. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Choose difficulty on purpose. Speak up when silence is safer. Train the body when the couch is calling. Every time you push into discomfort, you are sharpening your blade. Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will. Lesson 8. Memento mori. Triviality is the real crime. You are going to die. Most of your worries are trivial noise. When you embed this truth into your daily life, the gossip, the social anxiety, and the petty office politics vanish. If you had 1 year left to live, would you waste even 10 minutes arguing with a stranger on the internet? Would you still chase the hollow approval of people you don't even like? Probably not. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Use death as a filter. It is not morbid, it is liberating. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." When nothing is guaranteed, everything truly important becomes urgent. Lesson 9. The power of strategic silence. The ghost in the room. In an era defined by relentless noise, silence isn't just a virtue, It is a sophisticated weapon of psychological warfare. We live in the age of the great human leak, where people feel an almost biological compulsion to broadcast every thought, every grievance, and every half-baked plan. They speak because they are terrified of the vacuum. To the average mind, silence feels like a void that must be filled with the clutter of words. But to the dangerously smart, silence is the ultimate high ground. The Stoic philosopher Zeno famously reminded us that nature gave us 2 ears and only 1 mouth for a specific strategic reason. Most people speak to convince others of their importance, but in doing so, they achieve the opposite. They leak their insecurities, they reveal their biases, and they broadcast their weaknesses to anyone savvy enough to listen. Every time you speak out of turn or out of a need for validation, you are handing over a map of your internal territory to your rivals, the intelligence-gathering advantage. The person who speaks the least in a room usually holds the most power because they are the only ones actually observing the landscape. While everyone else is busy performing, trying to win the conversation or dominate the airwaves, the silent observer is gathering data. They are watching body language, noting inconsistencies in stories, and identifying who the real decision-makers are. Silence signals a level of self-possession that is deeply unnerving to the insecure. It tells the world that you are not desperate for approval, that you do not feel the need to justify your existence, and that you are comfortable with the weight of your own thoughts. It creates a psychological shroud around you. When you eventually do speak, your words carry the weight of a judge's gavel because they are rare, calculated, and backed by the evidence you've gathered while everyone else was talking. The strategy of the dangerously smart, the 5-second vacuum. The most effective way to utilize this power is through the 5-second pause. Most people respond to a challenge or a question in less than half a second. It is a reflex, a ping-pong style of communication that is predictable and easy to manipulate. The dangerously smart mind breaks this rhythm. The next time someone tries to pressure you, insults you, or asks you a prying question, do not respond immediately. Instead, look them directly in the eyes and wait. Count to 5 in your head. During these 5 seconds, a fascinating psychological shift occurs. Because silence is so uncomfortable for the average person, they will feel a desperate need to fix the awkwardness. They will often keep talking, backpedaling on their insult, or revealing more information than they ever intended to share. They will offer concessions you didn't even ask for, simply to break the tension of your silence. Silence as the ultimate shield. Silence also functions as an impenetrable shield. If you do not give people your words, they have nothing to twist. If you do not give them your reaction, they have no hook to pull you into their drama. To be dangerously smart is to become a ghost in the conversation. You listen to everything. You reveal nothing. You realize that in any negotiation, the person who can stay silent the longest usually walks away with the better deal. By mastering your mouth, you master your mind. You transition from a reactive animal to a sovereign observer. In a world of people who are shouting for attention, the person who can sit in silence and wait for the truth to reveal itself is the only one who is truly free. Remember, the lion doesn't need to roar to prove he's a lion. The roar is for the insecure. The true master of the room is the one whose presence is felt, even when their voice is not heard. Lesson 10. Kindness is not a strategy for the weak. Many people confuse stoic indifference with being a jerk. This is a mistake. However, the opposite is also true. Kindness without boundaries is self-destruction. If you are nice to people who disrespect you, you aren't being virtuous. You are training them to mistreat you. Real stoic kindness is rooted in justice, not in a desperate need to be liked. The strategy of the dangerously smart: be kind, but be dangerous. Let people know that your peace is a choice, not a weakness. Set ruthless boundaries. Your energy is a finite resource. Guard it with your life. Lesson 11. Competence is the only real security, the unassailable fortress. We live in an age of fragile illusions. We have been conditioned to believe that security is something granted to us by external institutions, a prestigious job title, a steady paycheck, a degree from a famous university, or a healthy balance in a digital bank account. But the Stoics, who lived through the rise and fall of absolute regimes and the total collapse of economic systems, knew a darker truth. Everything external is on loan from fate. Your job title can be deleted by a corporate board you've never met. Your bank account can be frozen by a stroke of a bureaucrat's pen. Your reputation, built over decades, can be smeared in a single afternoon by a viral lie. If your sense of safety is built on these things, you are living in a house of cards waiting for a breeze. You aren't secure, you are merely lucky. And in an uncertain universe, luck eventually runs out. The survival of the useful history provides a brutal recurring lesson. During the fall of empires, whether it was the collapse of Rome or the modern upheavals of the 20th century, the people who survived and thrived were not those with the highest social status. The aristocrats and the middle managers were often the first to be swept away. The people who remained untouchable were the doctors, the engineers, the builders, and the master strategists. Why? Because they possessed competence. Competence is the only wealth that cannot be taxed, stolen, or confiscated. It is the ability to walk into a room full of chaos and say, "I know how to fix this." When the world is falling apart, people don't care about your LinkedIn profile or your expensive watch. They care about whether you can solve the problem in front of them. The dangerously smart individual understands that the only real fortress is the one built between their ears. The trap of status versus the power of skill. Most people waste their vital life force chasing status symbols. They want the corner office, the blue check mark, or the title of vice president. These are mere labels, fragile shells that carry no inherent power. If you take away the office, the person is nothing. But if you take away the office of a truly competent person, they simply build a new one. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus taught that the mind must be disciplined to be ready for anything. This means shifting your focus from appearing important to becoming indispensable. There is a massive psychological difference between the man who has a job and the man who is the skill. The man who has a job is always afraid. He is a slave to his boss's whims. The man who is the skill is free. He knows that if he is fired today, he will be hired tomorrow, or he will start his own empire. His security is internal. The strategy of the dangerously smart, the indispensability protocol. To claim this security, you must stop chasing the hollow gold of status and start chasing high-value skills. You must identify the choke points in your industry, the complex, difficult problems that everyone else is too lazy or too scared to solve, and you must own them. The protocol is simple but brutal. 1. Identify the vital. What is the one thing your industry or community cannot function without? 2. Master the difficult. Spend the hours others waste on entertainment mastering that specific high-stakes skill. 3. Build the fortress. Become so effective that removing you would cause the system to fail. When you are dangerously competent, you don't have to beg for a place at the table. They will pull out a chair for you. You don't have to fear a changing economy. You are the one who navigates it. In a world of people who are faking it until they make it, the person who actually can do the work is the only one who is truly safe. This is the ultimate Stoic freedom. To know that no matter what fate takes away, it can never take away your ability to be useful. That is the only security that exists in an uncertain universe. Lesson 12. The fallacy of fairness. We are conditioned from childhood to expect fairness. When we get passed over for a promotion or treated poorly, we cry out, "That's not fair." This is the cry of a child. The universe is not fair. It is indifferent. Rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. Expecting the world to be fair to you because you are a good person is like expecting a bull not to charge you because you are a vegetarian. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Stop looking for fairness and start looking for leverage. Don't complain about the rules of the game. Learn the rules better than anyone else and play to win. The unbothered mind accepts reality as it is, not as it should be. Lesson 13. Your environment is your destiny, the law of social contagion. There is a dangerous myth circulating in the world of self-improvement. The idea that the Stoic sage is a man of such iron will that he can live in a sewer and remain untainted. While it is true that we aim for internal sovereignty, the ancient Stoics were also pragmatic biologists of the mind. They understood a fundamental law of human nature that modern neuroscience is only now confirming. You cannot stay clean in a room full of smoke. The Stoics warned us about the contagion of souls. They realized that human beings are not closed systems. We are open loops. We are biologically wired to mirror the behaviors, the emotional states, and the speech patterns of those we spend the most time with. This isn't a choice. It is a neurological survival mechanism. If you surround yourself with 5 chronic complainers, your brain will eventually find the neural pathways to become the 6th. It is an atmospheric pressure that slowly, invisibly crushes your potential until you look just like the people you once promised yourself you would never become. The invisible erosion of the soul. Your mind is a high-fidelity sponge. It doesn't just absorb information. It absorbs standards. It absorbs the vocabulary of defeat. It absorbs the subtle cynicism that mocks ambition. It absorbs the low-level anxiety of people who live as victims of their circumstances. If your inner circle consists of people who spend their weekends escaping reality rather than building it, you will eventually find your own drive beginning to evaporate. You might think you are helping them or that you are above their influence, but the erosion is too subtle to notice in real time. It's the joke you didn't use to find funny, but now do. It's the goal you used to be excited about, but now feels unrealistic because your friends keep telling you it is. Every person in your life is either a gust of wind at your back or a weight around your neck. There is no middle ground. There is no such thing as a neutral relationship. Every interaction either moves you toward the mountain or toward the cliff. The strategy of the dangerously smart, the ruthless audit. The dangerously smart mind understands that independence does not mean being immune to influence. It means being ruthless about which influences you allow across your borders. You must treat your inner circle like a high-security facility. Marcus Aurelius lived in a court filled with sycophants, liars, and the lazy. He survived by mentally distancing himself and seeking out the souls of the great through reading and deep study. He knew that if he allowed the palace gossip to become his primary reality, he would lose his edge as a ruler. You must do the same. You must perform a sovereign audit of your environment. The audit protocol. Identify the leaks. Who in your life consistently drains your energy? Who leaves you feeling cynical, exhausted, or smaller after a conversation? Identify the builders. Who challenges your excuses? Who makes you feel slightly uncomfortable because their standards for themselves are so much higher than yours? The great pruning. You do not owe anyone your future just because you shared a past. If someone is encouraging your decay, you must cut the tie, or at the very least, create a massive psychological distance. It is a hard truth, but it is better to walk alone toward the mountain than to walk in a crowd toward the cliff. In the vacuum of solitude, you have the space to grow. In the clutter of the crowd, you only have the space to fit in. To be dangerously smart is to realize that you are the average of the 5 environments you spend the most time in. If you want a different life, you must find a different room. Lesson 14. Radical acceptance of the present moment. Most people live in a state of psychological time. They are either grieving the past or fearing the future. They are never here. Dangerous intelligence is the ability to look at a chaotic situation and accept it instantly. The building is on fire. This is the reality. Now where is the exit? Most people waste 20 minutes screaming about why the fire started. The Stoic is already outside. The strategy of the dangerously smart. Master the power of now. When disaster strikes, skip the grief and go straight to the strategy. By accepting reality the second it happens, you gain a massive lead over everyone else who is still in shock. The vow of the sovereign mind. 14 ruthless lessons. Each one is a philosophical blade that cuts away the illusion, the fluff, and the weakness that has held you captive. If you have stayed with me this far, you already carry more clarity and more power than most. But knowledge without action is just a sophisticated form of entertainment. The question is, will you practice it? Will you choose truth over comfort? Will you choose the mountain over the mud? If this journey speaks to the warrior in you, share it, like it, and subscribe. Your training has only just begun. Leave just 3 words in the comments, your public vow to yourself. Write, I choose clarity. Let that be your declaration that from today forward you will see through the fog and live awake. Stay still, stay wise, stay sovereign.